All right, this looks like we are live in the locker room, guys. This is Wayne Hall coming to you live from Orlando, Florida. We are excited to always be on this platform because every week, guys, we have some phenomenal men that stop by. And what we talk about in the locker room is, as you guessed, we talk about women, guys. But we talk about women from a particular standpoint. We talk about women from the standpoint of a subject that is going to shock you, a women's period. Yeah, you heard us right. We're talking about women's period. We guys are a part of a campaign known as Justice for Jewel. And every week you'll see some men stop by and they're from all backgrounds. And this week we have two phenomenal men that are going to join us who joined us earlier in the show, but we had to have them back. And first, I'm going to ask Pastor Clarence Thomas from out there in Atlanta, Georgia, to tell us a little bit about himself. Welcome, Pastor Thomas. Good to have you on the show.
Mr. Hall, thank you so much for having me on the call. It's definitely a pleasure to join you and Mr. Smith back on this phenomenal call. Um, just to give you my brief bio rundown, yeah, my name is Clarence Thomas III. Served as an assistant pastor at a local church in Sandy Springs for about 10 years. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, graduate of Clark Atlanta University. I'm a father of one daughter who is now 18. And I'm currently serving in ministry at World Changers Church Ministries at the Norcross campus with the praise and worship team and the media team, and doing a lot of advocacy work there as well for menstrual health.
Well, good to have you back on the show, sir. And thank you for always being so much at the forefront of this campaign. Appreciate you.
Oh, definitely. It's my pleasure. Oh, and the last thing, CEO and founder of Far Above Ruby's menstrual health initiative.
You don't want
That's
to
right.
leave that
Don't
out.
want to leave that out.
All right. Also from Atlanta, Georgia, a gentleman that has been here, always brightening the screen with his smile. But you'll hear a little bit more about the serial entrepreneur, Mr. Joseph Smith. Come on, sir, and talk to us. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, well, Mr. Hall, first of all, it's great to be back here with you and Pastor Clarence. We appreciate the opportunity. A little bit about me. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a friend to many. Just like Clarence, from Atlanta, Georgia, originally, graduated from Georgia Southern University. Hail Southern, go Eagles. And just love people, love serving people. I'm really a servant at heart. I've been an entrepreneur for over 5+ years, and just really, really excited to continue to raise the awareness about our campaign. I am also co-founder of We Love Period, along with my wife, Renee Smith, and we're just excited to be a part of this platform, to be in the locker room, to talk about menstrual health and how we can continue to serve the ladies we love in our lives.
Man, good to have you here, and definitely looking forward to this show with both of you gentlemen. So
Thank you.
let's get started. Since the last time you both were here, I'm sure some things have happened that has advanced the campaign from both your perspectives and locations. First, Pastor Thomas, what has happened since we last spoke in terms of you getting the word out and some of the feedback that you've been getting from our women?
Uh, well, so for me, I've still been doing a lot of community awareness. I've been doing a lot of exhibiting at events, and the feedback has been great. It's amazing to see how young ladies and women respond when they hear about our campaign. To be honest with you, we started in June. The jewel pads launched in June. And right now, we're over $1 million in revenue in just right at 4 months. And that's been huge for us as a company. At the same time, in the marketplace, I'm still seeing that it's something that's brand new. This whole thing of dryness and comfort during a woman's cycle still is typically something that's about 99.8% unheard of by women and young ladies and girls. And so I'm finding that the marketplace is very wide open, very unaware. and it's just been very tremendous in plowing through as far as getting out there, sharing the awareness, and now I've been fortunate enough to start expanding the awareness to businesses. I actually, in working with Queen Arlene Duncan, as we call her, and my senior partner, Charles Watson, otherwise known as the General, we were able to launch something that Mr. Smith and I actually have been kind of preparing as an infant, if you will, and it's finally reached full maturity. And that program that we're launching is called the Jewel Protectors Program. That started as something where, we wanted to work with women's shelters because they obviously are helping women that are homeless and transitioning. Some of these women have children. And it started off as a way of inviting just common people as well as organizations and businesses to help us by purchasing our Jewel Premium Sanitary Napkins as a donation to go to these shelters. I'm actually still in the midst of a drive right now for the New Orleans Women and Children's Shelter, and that's going pretty good. But with that, the Jewel Protectors Program has now expanded to businesses, and so I was blessed to recently have come across my path one of the regional directors for an international coffee chain, if you will, and she's very interested in our Justice for My Jewel campaign. She's very interested in how Starbucks can potentially become a jewel protector and protect the jewels that work at the different outlets of Starbucks across the country. So we're in talks right now, and it's very exciting to know that. When we share our campaign, that, the people we share it with, they're acknowledging, yes, you're right, there is a need. Yes, we didn't know what was going on. And yes, we believe that this is something that we want to participate in and bring some protection to the jewels in our lives.
That's absolutely amazing because my next question is going to be to Joseph to tell us, for the new people that are, coming on the show today, tell us about this Justice for My Jewel campaign and what it is about and what it means to you. Um, so, in that light, Pastor Thomas, it's so great that you're able to expand through the campaign this international coffee chain that could be a major player in getting the word out about what we do. So, with that, Joseph, tell us the people out there a little bit about the campaign and what it means to you. And I see you're working hand in hand with Pastor Thomas on this project. Congrats, sir. Talk to us a little more about the campaign so they know what's up.
Well, the campaign is boundless. And it is really needed in every surface of the world. Just like Clarence, we've been working since the last time you've had us on. We've been able to work internationally as well. We were able to send over some product over to Nigeria. It was a beautiful way that all transpired. We were able to do that. As a matter of fact, today I made another connection with a point of contact that's heading over to Sierra Leone. And she's very excited about what we're going to do over in that particular area. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done here locally. And we're really raising the bar and making sure we get in front of the right people to talk about justice for our jewel and why it is important. We spent a lot of time over the last few months dealing with middle and high schoolers, and the nurses love our platform. They love the product. However, we do run into a problem with pricing. Um, and pricing from a standpoint that the product that they're receiving to give out to the young girls, it is trash. I'll just be straight. This is the locker room, right? So I can
It's a
be
lot.
honest. It is absolute trash. I mean, when I tell you trash, I mean trash to the nth power. And they are so impressed with our product, but the problem fits in the scenario of funding to make it available like that. So we've got a fundraiser that we're really, really excited about that we're going to continue to make sure that a product money shouldn't be the issue. To keep our girls dry, keep them comfortable, in most cases, keep them cramp free, and to help raise the awareness about justice for my jewels. So we're really expanding our platforms, just like Clarence mentioned, also on the business side, but also in the schools, and even private schools as well, to really, really shake things up and make sure that the jewels in our lives are protected because they matter.
Absolutely, absolutely. I like what y'all are doing, and this is one of the things that make me so happy to be a part of this campaign. Uh, it is doing something that is selfless
Mm.
and moving from yourself, no matter what gender you are, to say, let me help. So, women, if you're out there watching the program, help us men help you. And most of all, help those that you love. Now, you might be saying, well, help how? What is this campaign about? Well, Justice for My Jewel, ladies and gentlemen, is a campaign that is geared at bringing educational support, bring information to men and women about the dangers of sanitary napkins and tampons. And watch this, guys. We also bring a solution, a possible solution to the problem, because we know our women have been suffering endlessly, for years. Why? Because the sanitary napkins and tampons that are on the shelves, guys, you can do the research for yourself. What are they made from? Matter of fact, I won't tell you. I want you to do some homework. Find out for yourself by just typing on Google, what are sanitary napkins and tampons made from? Okay? You'll be shocked. And that's why this platform is so important, because we as men decided, when we found out the dangers that our women face that lurk in these sanitary napkins and tampons, we could not sit by idly and do nothing about it. Now, Pastor Thomas, you guys are looking to expand internationally. You're working locally with, businesses and schools. What is happening with the women around you, those women that are in your community? How are they taking on to you as a man? And this subject will always come up, because every time someone new watches this program, we want them to understand what we face and how they can be an assistance to us as we bring the word out. What are you finding in your neighborhood as you approach these individual women, Pastor Thomas?
That's a very, very good question. It's something that's been of discussion, honestly, in my business and in my awareness advocacy with the campaign. Uh, there are times when women are very receptive to just the information, and because it strikes a nerve with something that they honestly never ever thought could get any better, and it's been like an answer to the cry for help that they've silently been holding on, on the inside of them for some of them for years, decades. But then you've got others, Mr. Hall, and sometimes it's like, well, I would better receive this coming from a woman, and it's actually like for women, it's like we talk about the taboo with men. We talk about how men are like, oh no, that's a woman's thing. No, that's something we don't talk about. That's something we don't touch. But I'm actually finding, Mr. Hall, that that taboo for some women is equally shared towards men. It's
Mm.
like the men don't want to talk about it, but then you got some women who don't want men talking to them about it. And it's an unfortunate thing because like I know, we always know that, and in sharing the information, when people know better, they have a chance to do better. And so I'm just finding that, navigating that sea of, hey, I want to share this with you, and then getting those walls to come down that even women have built up that, well, this is a conversation for us ladies, us women. You don't have a cycle, da da da. And honestly, my response is always, you're right. I don't have a cycle. The men in our campaign, We don't have cycles. We will never physiologically know what it is to have a cycle. However, that does not diminish the fact that we share a mutual love and concern for you as a woman. And because we don't know about that, we're able to admit that. However, what we do know, we know about these specific devices that are being used for your cycle that we will never experience. And it's these devices that are the issue. If the wrong devices are already out there, and those devices are causing the problems, and so, I typically will steer away from the actual cycle itself, and in focusing in on the devices that does help. But I'm actually, as I go forward with the campaign, because I've actually got some big women's ministry events that I'm going to be exhibiting at. I'm going to be bringing in my daughter because, she's really, really the foundational push that got me into the campaign in the first place. I'm going to be bringing her in on some events to help me to share her testimony, which I actually was able to recently post on my testimonies page on my Far Above Ruby's website, and just work it that way. So, it can get a little hard at times. However, we're diligent to the cause and diligent to getting this out there and educating those who will hear. Not everybody will hear the first time, but there's a scripture that talks about one may plant and another may water, but God gives an increase. So it may be a situation where, hey, I just plant a seed in a woman and she goes about her business, or maybe I water a seed that was planted by someone else. But ultimately, I just am very confident that when it's time for the increase to come forward, for those women to receive this and try our product and join the revolution, that it's just a matter of time.
Amen. Amen. I like that. I like that a lot. Joseph, I'm seeing that you're traveling and pulled over in your car, and man, I'm grateful for that because it tells how serious you are as a man about this campaign. So I'm going to put you on the spot now.
Uh-oh.
What if you can show us are these jewel pads that we're here talking about? You have any you can show us there and let the viewing audience see what we're about and tell us a little bit about each.
I do, and let me say this before these pads right here. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, Mr. Hall, but
Yes, sir, I do.
you can. Great. These pads have a better record than my Atlanta Falcons right now. Okay, I mean, I know we're in the men's locker room, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little pissed off at my Falcons, but God dog it, these pads got a better record than the Atlanta Falcons, and I mean that in all sincerity. Over the last couple weeks, actually, it's been very consistent. A lot of young ladies have come to us and say, "Hey, we love the pads. I've never had an experience like this." Okay. One young lady told me just about a week ago before I went out of town, she said, "Joe, if these pads can do everything you say they can do, these pads right here, if they can do everything you say they can do, Joseph, you have a customer for life." And just 2 days ago, we got a text and she said this was exactly everything as I described to her. So our record is amazing. Our pad comes in 4 styles. What you saw here is the liners, okay? 30 to a pack. We have a moderate flow, okay? You have 10 to a pack there. Beautiful. It's like a beautiful pink, okay? It's really sweet. A beautiful pink. And then we have 10 come to a pack for that. Then we have a heavy flow that has 8 to a pack. Okay. And then we have like a super absorbent overnight. You have 7. So always encourage what we call the lifestyle pack, where you get all of them together because of the flow pattern. And that just helps a young lady stay with whatever the flow pattern is. She has exactly what she needs. And like I said, as I introduced the product to the call here, they've got a phenomenal record. I would actually put the Jewel Pass record against, you guessed it,
The
New
Atlanta
England
Falcons.
Patriots. No, New England Patriots. Because they
Huh.
got a better record than the Falcons. Okay. I will put our pass against the New England Patriots record right now because it really is a phenomenal product. I just had a I just had a young lady tell Pastor Clarence and I the other day that she wished we could try the pass because she loves them so much. She said, "You guys need to put some more because she loves them that much." I don't know if I go that far. I mean, but anyway, but no, it's really, 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 really an amazing product. We're just so excited that we get a chance to be a solution minded problem solver for a lot of ladies. Man, that is really, really important. And just like Pastor Clarence was saying about some of the resistance that we sometimes face when we're talking to young ladies, I tell people from the beginning, look, I got 23 years of marriage. I got a 20-year-old daughter. I mean, hello, I came from the womb. Duh. So why can I not talk to you about this? There are actually more OBGYN that are men than women. So why can't I talk to you about this? I mean, look, last time I checked, it takes two to have relations to end up putting seed in the ground, allow us to be here where we are. Why can't we talk about this? Why can't, as men, we can be very direct and talk to the ladies that we love about something that they're going to need? So it's just we're just cracking the egg in this conversation and allowing us to be very transparent and open because look, as our women heal and grow, then so does our relationships, so does mankind. And it just puts us all really in a better situation. And I'll say this right now, ladies, if you're listening, hear me carefully. It is time to impeach your past period experience and allow people like us to put a smile on your period. Take that.
Oh, if the show was over, I'd put the mic on your behalf, but we have to continue a little bit longer. So, wow, I like that statement. There are two things that you said that I'm going to piggyback on, and one of them was about that hard boiled egg. That situation that has existed for so many years as it regards the tabooness of the topic has been one where we're trying, as you said, to crack that shell. And you know what, guys, those of you out there watching, a show like this is where we get a chance to do, because how many shows are out there, if you can find one, that has a locker room that men talk about women, period? I mean, if you can find one, show it to us. We'll be glad to look at it, but we don't know of any. So we're doing something that is unusual, unorthodox even, but we want to make sure that we step out and be different. We don't want to be the norm anymore. We want to crack that shell so that women can understand, yeah, we do have some amount of love and care for you that has to, at some point, come to a boiling point where we're going to approach the topic without fear. And that time is here.
That's
We
right.
don't want to tiptoe anymore, because while we're tiptoeing or while we were away from the issue, you were suffering unnecessarily. So now we're looking to do something about it. The second thing I wanted to piggyback on, Joseph, was a topic we laughed about, which is the young lady wished that you could use the pads, but now watch this. Men are using the pads
Mm.
in the
Mm.
way that they use the pads. That's amazing. Now, I'll put my hands up and say I am one of those men who have tried the pads. And yeah, guys, before you start spreading this all over the internet, let me explain how. Okay? I had a major back pain,
Mm.
and it flares up every now and then. But I had this back pain when I was heading to a focus group meeting in Fort Lauderdale with General Charles Watson a few months ago, and my back was in excruciating pain. And I remember the value of what women have shared with me about how this helps their pain.
Mm.
So, guys, I strapped that thing on my back. I strapped it on, and I head to Fort Lauderdale, three hours away.
Wow.
I can tell you that my pain went away. And in the meeting, while there was the stillness in the room about the situation of men talking about women's period, I made sure to lift up my shirt and show the women in the room that I was using the pad.
That's what's up. That's
And
what's
guys,
up.
these pads are serious. We're talking about something I'm going to ask Pastor Thomas to explain. We're talking about pads, guys, natural pads, even that has a Nobel Prize technology strip in it. Pastor Thomas, tell us about that strip and what's it called.
Okay, so the Nobel Prize winning technology that's infused in the strip that's in every jewel pad is called graphene. And graphene is finding its way into a lot of different areas of societal application. I mean, they're talking about it with regards to armed forces. They're talking about it with regards to medical care. You've got scientists that have actually experimented with lab rats by severing the vertebrae of their spine and rendering them what's the word? Rendering them paralyzed. Yes. And in their paralysis, they've taken graphene and aligned it in a certain way along their spinal cords where the lab rats, the nerve endings found their way back to the right places. And as the spinal cord began to heal, they began to come out of their paralysis. And so when you bring that down to the level of dealing with menstruation in a woman's cycle, we are finding that the benefits of graphene are just as valid here. I mean, graphene is known as a inflammation reducer. Graphene is also known as a 99.5% bacterial killer, and that's because on a nanomolecular level, when a woman's flow and blood waste hits the pad and goes through that strip on that nanomolecular level, it's literally there. It's razor sharp and it's slicing and dicing every bacterial organism or cellular structure that's passing through the strip. And so once it hits the pad, it's done. They're no more. Those germs are no more. Um, We've also got women that are talking about the graphene is helping them to realize a bodily response of not being so edgy when they have their cycle. So the graphene is helping our women to experience a pH balancing. It was just because it's near their body, so closely. And then we've got women that are talking about, well, my God, I'm experiencing a severe reduction, but in most cases, an elimination of cramping pain. Well, that's because the uterus is responding to the graphene in a way where now, if the contracting of the uterus during the cycle begins to minimize, and in most cases, totally go away. And so, this graphene element we're fine. And another thing, I don't know if this gets said a lot, but the fact that, our pads have a 3-year shelf life, that's amazing. I don't know about other pads, but I do know that our pads have a 3-year shelf life. And to know that the graphene that's in there today, heaven forbid, if some woman lost her pads and found them, another 3 years down the road when they were moving into another place, oh my God, I still got my jewel pads here. It's still gonna work. That's amazing to me you
That's
know,
right.
because you think about the pads could be in the hot, could be in the cold, they could be in the car, they could be in the purse, they could be anywhere. And to know that, regardless of where they are, the temperatures that the pads are experiencing, or how long you've had them, to know that they're going to be just as effective 3 years down the road as they are the day you bought them, man, that's huge. That's very, very major. So we've got something that not only works today, but it's going to be something that's going to be able to work, long term. So graphene is absolutely amazing. And then here's the other thing: the vibrational imaging of graphene. Man, I got to tell you, and I use Joseph's mom's testimony quite a bit concerning vibrational energy because she told him that she experiences at a certain part of the day a drastic plummet in her energy levels. Now, this lady, she hasn't had a cycle in a while, and she uses the liners. But guess what? When Joseph passed her along our jewel panty liners, she said from the time she started using them, she started experiencing no more energy drop. Her energy levels stay up. She's energized throughout the day, and we basically attribute that to the vibrational energy that's in graphene. The fact that it even has vibrational energy in it, and that our bodies respond to it is amazing, and that's why graphene is all the hype, is all the rave, especially over in European countries because they've had access to the research a little bit longer than companies over here in the U.S. But now that we know as well, the applications for graphene from what we're seeing are endless, and you've got so many corporations that are positioning themselves for the wave of technological advancement from one simple thing, graphene. And we're riding the wave, the front edge of the wave, the cutting edge of the wave with graphene. And as a matter of fact, we're the only company in the United States that has graphene in a product already that's being made available to the marketplace. So we're in a very, very unique and humbling position with regards to bringing the technology of graphene in such a major way concerning menstruation.
Amen to that. Guys, we could be here all day, but we wanted to bring 30 minutes of power packed information. And you heard from two phenomenal gentlemen today. Mr. Joseph Smith, you heard from Pastor Clarence Thomas III. You've heard some amazing stuff about our campaign, Justice for My Jewel. How can you find out more? First of all, you want to go to our campaign site, jfmj.org. jfmj.org. Second, you want to contact these gentlemen if you know them. Get in touch with them to find out more about the campaign and how you can get your hands on these pads for either yourself or someone you love. If you're saying, I have no use for these pads because I am past the age, don't forget, women, that you have other women in your life that you should care about. Your daughters, your nieces, your grandchildren. We have to stop being selfish. Yes, I said we're in the locker room. We have to stop being selfish and start looking out for those around us. Let us stop being in this place where we're all about me, 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 and start looking out for how we can help others. Because that way, that's how success comes to your life. Pastor Clarence Thomas, Mr. Joseph Smith, we've been blessed by your presence. We're grateful. Oh, Joseph, you want to say something real quick?
Yes, if at all possible. First of all, and thank you for the platform, Mr. Hall, for all those individuals that do find their ways to donate to schools and organizations, and they buy pads from the stores. We ask you to halt. Please don't do that. Contact any one of us who may have shared this video with you, and buy our pass, and let's donate something that's really going to help those young ladies at those schools, at those organizations. We know you mean well by going to your local store and buying what's on the shelf. We ask that you pause and look at our product and donate, buy from either one of us, and then donate it to those schools. I just wanted to share that. Thank you, Mr. Hall.
I appreciate that, sir. Guys, you heard it all here today. We're looking forward to have a phenomenal show next week. We're planning some things for the future that's going to blow the show out the park. But we are here to help our women live longer, healthier, happier lives. Gentlemen, thank you. God bless. See you soon. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Have a good
Yes,
night.
sir.
Thank you. Have a great one.